When I go and sign this bill in a minute, it will be step one in taking our streets back, taking our children back, reclaiming our families and our future.
Basically, the sense had come that we now had a problem that was out of control, and that those days that we all grown up with or remember fondly were over.
Keep your head still!
We had now changed to a different kind of society with a permanent culture of violence.
Don't move!
Crime in Kansas City was escalating because of Jamaican drug gangs had come into the city. We weren't getting a lot of help from the federal government at that time. Neighborhoods were being taken over by gangs, and violent crime was on the rise.
President Clinton recognized the problem right away and knew it had to be solved, or the way to do it.
His formula for fighting crime was quite simple. Fewer guns on the street, more police on the street, and stop crimes from happening in the first place.
This crime bill will keep repeat violent criminals off our streets with longer sentences and with a 3 strikes and you're out law, and with funds to build prisons to hold those criminals. It will prohibit juveniles from owning handguns and ban deadly assault weapons.
It was an immediate success, and the results were dramatic. Now we were inside the community. We were with the community. In many cases, officers actually helped start neighborhood associations in communities that never had them before.
Now in cities and communities all across America, residents work with police officers, forming neighborhood watches, banding together against drug dealers, building connections that are the core of community life and the heart of civil society.
President Clinton, he understood there were many things that needed to be done to solve the crime problem, such as putting more cops on the beat, but he also recognized the fact that we had to keep guns off the street.
Brady Law dealt with preventing criminals from getting access to handguns. And that was the first real gun legislation that had been passed and signed into law in over 30 years, against fierce opposition by the NRA.
From our standpoint, the Brady Bill, the assault weapons ban, and the other measures that we took on guns weren't gun issues, they were crime issues. The best evidence that our strategy was working, besides the crime statistics, was the unbelievable renaissance of America's cities in the 90s. Entire neighborhoods that had been written off for decades suddenly blossomed.
President Clinton absolutely made this nation safer. He cut the crime rate and the gun violence rate, and he has been more responsible for making us a safer nation than any president in my lifetime.
I think the president's focus on crime and communities was an absolute success. The Clinton administration presided over one of the most dramatic drops in crime in the history of this nation.
A society rooted in responsibility must provide safe streets, safe schools, and safe neighborhoods. We pursued a strategy of more police, tougher punishment, smarter prevention. I can report to you tonight that it's working.